Hello, DeFi holders. This is Corinne, the host of the Moon Inside Crypto podcast. I hope you are doing well despite all the market craziness and tension and everything else that is going on in the world. There's a lot to talk about today, so let's dive straight into our TLDR. One of the first things today is Curve makes money. Now, that seems pretty obvious. Curve Finance, MakerDAO, they're really famous. Curve pools, Curve bribe wars. We've talked about this on the show before with DeFi Kai. So how does Curve make money? And that is one of the stories we're going to talk about a little bit later. Does it make money? Is it making a lot of money? Especially now with the crypto market being down, everyone's sort of profitability in crypto is in question, or maybe not doing as well. So that's definitely something to think about. Next thing we'll talk about today is Lido making Solana inroads. So we know on our Solana index token that Marinade is the biggest liquid staking solution on Solana at the moment. Right, there are a bunch of other competitors. We know Lido is the biggest Ethereum liquid staking solution at the moment. And we know because Ethereum is so dominant, Lido has made a fair bit of money. And so they're also trying to gain markets in Solana. One of the stories we're going to talk about today is that Lido has selected 2 new validators for it. That's very interesting, right? Lido is still far behind. I believe they're like 7 percentage points behind in terms of liquid staking on Solana. They do have the assets though to catch up. Now, how are they going to catch up? That is a good question to think about. But the next we talk about is Uniswap talks about DEX benefits. And we've talked about Uniswap on the last few TLDRs we've done. I've also talked about our head of research, Ellie. He believes that Uniswap is going to be the sort of the future centralized exchange, but it's a decentralized exchange that everyone's going to use. They're going to move into sort of be like a comprehensive solution provider like Binance is. Like, you guys know I'm a Binance user. How are they going to do that? How are they going to move from the DEX model to the SIX model, but still maintain the sort of way that DEXs operate? The fourth story we're going to talk about today is Synpress. So Synpress is a framework that Synthetix is using, and in order to get into crypto, as far as from the development side, is not that easy. There are not a lot of crypto developers out there, right? If you look on LinkedIn, you look on Indeed, you look on a bunch of other like regular job places, right? Crypto developers are making loads of money, but there's just a shortage of them, and they're in such high demand. And Synpress should be a framework for you to help to develop your dApps more efficiently. The last thing we talk about today is the graph, right? The graph is the opposite solution of Chainlink in a simple form, but they're doing a lot of different things. And today we're going to talk about Messari and how they're using the graph data. And that's pretty much it. So let's jump straight into a DeFi index token. Before we get started though, I want to tell you guys, today is our 100th podcast episode. I want to thank every one of you for supporting the podcast, for sharing it on social media. I really appreciate it. Now I have to cue the obligatory fireworks. Now with that done and over with, let's get back to our DeFi index token. So DeFi is currently doing well. As you can see, we're going to look at this just later. Crypto has had a lot of sort of horizontal action recently. DeFi currently sitting at 88 cents, up 4% in the last week. Let's look at it compared to if you had just bought Ethereum or liquid staked Ethereum. We can see DeFi actually is performing better, as we looked at it the last episode, right? Current market cap 108,000. This is down not because people are selling, but because the overall TVL of Ethereum is down. We'll look into that just now. This is the current constituents. Chainlink at the top with 16%, but as a lot of you guys have said, this is pretty nice, right? It's pretty evenly distributed. Synthetix on the bottom with 10%. We have 2 of Lido's tokens, right? STETH and LDO inside. One of the things to remind you guys as well is, right, so this is going to be rebalanced on the first business day of each month. So for DFI, we're going to rebalance roughly on the 3rd or the 4th of October, depending what time zone you're in. So please keep in mind, this will not be rebalancing on the 1st of October because the 1st of October is a Saturday. Okay, and that is pretty much it for DeFi. Now let's check out our Ethereum TVL on Defilama. So current TVL on Ethereum is $31.35 billion. You can see a lot of horizontal action, right? Starting from about July, going on to present day. Prices haven't really changed too much. MakerDAO dominance 23.24%. MakerDAO at the top. Lido number 2. Lido is currently 5.79 billion. MakerDAO 7.28 billion. Curve just behind Lido 5.29 billion. 4.93 billion. Aave 4 billion. Convex Finance, Compound Finance, Instadab, Balancer, Arrakis Finance running out at number 10. Okay guys, we are going to cue into our Bloomberg crypto video, just a sort of summary of what's been going on in the market, roughly 2 minutes. If you'd like to skip it and go straight to our Chainlink story, please forward your podcast or the YouTube video roughly 2 minutes and we will get straight into the news for today.
Terminal CRYP Go. And what you'll see is actually a bit of a mixed bag. It is a risk-off day when it comes to equities, and we know Bitcoin is very closely correlated to those. So no surprise, it is down about 2%, trading right around that $19,000 level. What's interesting is while Ether has been underperforming since the merge was completed last week, it's actually outperforming today, up about 0.8%. But your real outperformance is coming from XRP. Ripple, of course, is in a bit of a battle with the SEC. The SEC had filed a lawsuit saying that XRP should have been listed and registered as a security. Ripple filing a motion to dismiss that last night, saying their investors never had an investment contract and therefore no rights. So it's interesting to see that reaction for XRP, up about 8% at this point. And then I'm just checking on Avalanche as well, down about 1.6%. Of course, we're going to have more on that particular token in just a moment, Matt. But first, you've got a cool chart to look at.
Yeah, I have. And actually, we have a number of cool charts to look at. Our crypto team put together a technical look at Ether, and Abigail Doolittle is going to come and show you more technical charts in a second. I'm just looking at basically a pattern that's built up from the June lows here. Ether had a pretty good run into the merge, or at least the beginning of the merge, and it's come off since then as things have gone smoothly. What you're looking at here is a regression pattern that's built up, and we're coming down since then 2 standard deviations. Now, technical chartists tell me that if we break down to the third, the next step is 1250, and below that, the next step is 1,000. So Ethereum's price moves having a hard time keeping up with the enthusiasm from market participants over the upgrade to proof of stake.
Ethereum moving to proof of stake.
This is massive.
A monumental effort.
The merge was highly successful.
Transitioning completely to an energy efficient world.
Increased decentralization.
The barrier to entry is much lower than proof of work.
This is, a superior system in a lot of ways.
The end game is 10 million transactions per second.
Security, reliability, speed, that's still open for debate.
What's next is going to be a lot of investments into scaling.
We expect 100% of the activity to move there over time.
Ethereum as a network is just getting started. It's going to get a lot faster. It's going to get a lot cheaper.
So the merge was a success, but Ethereum is still drawing scrutiny, fresh regulatory scrutiny, to the industry. Shonali Bassick has been tracking the latest developments for us, and she's here. Shonali, what do you got?
Now, what's at stake, Matt, is staking, because the saga over crypto regulation continues. Last week, SEC Chair
Alright guys, so this says this is on March 9th, 2022. This has recently been updated, which is why it was featured on the Chainlink blog, on a Twitter account, I believe. So it says Chainlink for Enterprises, the gateway to all blockchains. So this is basically an article geared towards corporations or companies and the value that they can get by the blockchain, in particular Chainlink, right? So this gives you a little introduction, but it says we believe enterprises have 4 key roles to play: monetizing data and API services that enable smart contracts, operating back-end infrastructure that provides computation for smart contracts. We've interviewed a bunch of infrastructure people on the podcast. Go back and listen to those episodes, the most recent being Anchor. Of course, they do a bunch of crypto infrastructure. Building smart contracts that support new and existing business processes. Launching consumer interfaces that allow users to access smart contract applications on any blockchain. So there's the company, the enterprise, and ooh, that goes bigger. Not what I wanted to do, but yeah, data and APIs. So this is an option for companies to do. Smart contract infrastructure, right? There's a bunch of examples over here: Stockware, Phantom, Solana. All right. Smart contract applications, DeFi, NFTs, metaverse, asset tokenization, supposed to be really big. Parametric insurance, carbon credits like MakerDAO, supply chain like VE chain. All right, consumer interfaces. People love using crypto on their phones. We're in talks with some people right now on the Amun side, which might be interesting. We can't just talk about it right at the moment. So it says Chainlink empowers enterprises to capitalize on innovation in the smart contract economy by providing them with secure blockchain middleware that can read from and write to any blockchain based on customizable logic and security. Okay, interesting. All right, the value of blockchains and smart contracts, highly siloed transactional and asset data. This is the sort of traditional way data works. And this is the blockchain. Single source transactions are efficient and secure. Okay, and then this is Chainlink, right? Shareable record, automated records, smart contract value, parametric data driven, trustworthy records, trustworthy automation, trust minimize smart contract computation. Secure blockchain middleware for enterprises. Chainlink is secure. Okay, we know all about that. Market data, Chainlink network, price reference feeds. Price feeds ensure proper collateralization during loan issuance and determines liquidation events. User loan liquidator. Nice. So this is a fairly long article. Oh my god. But definitely worth reading if you know somebody who's in a corporation who's thinking about crypto and about Chainlink or about smart contracts. Chainlink is definitely the place to go. All right, let us move on to our Messari data. So it says, incredibly excited about Messari crypto protocol, metrics and data apps that are launched today. So Messari mainnet was last week, I believe, ending on the weekend. Our co-founder, Ophelia Snyder, was there. She gave a speech. Definitely have a look out for that. Now we have a standardized way to interpret on-chain metrics that are consistent across protocols, i.e. TVL, and always transparent with open source subgraphs. Okay. The key is Messari engineers are building standardized subgraphs across the verticals, i.e. standardized lending schema, so dApps can adopt shared methodologies for deriving data and users developers can suggest improvements to get involved. Messari aims to be the one-stop shop for exhaustive protocol metrics across all of Web3. Play around with subgraphs built by Messari here. If anybody knows how to play around with the graph, please let me know. There's a bunch of really cool data sources in crypto. Dune Analytics is pretty easy to use. The graph is not easy to use, and I'd love to figure out how to use it. If you have any ideas, please drop it down in the comments below, right? Or you can send me an email, right? Krian@21.co. You can tweet at me, twitter.com/Krian Padiachi, CRIN PADAYACHEE. Okay, I'd love to hear from all of you. But this is just cool, right? Standardization in order to interpret data allows you to compare data in a more efficient way, right? The problem with gathering data sometimes from different sources is it's not comparable. If I'm getting data from the graph or getting data from blah, 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 or A or B, it needs to be standardized in a way that we can compare it. And Messari is doing that with their subgraphs, which is cool. I saw Balancer. I saw a bunch of other protocols on there. So definitely have a look if you are a user of the graph and you know how to use it. Okay, let's move on to Lido. So it says additions to Lido on Solana node operator set wave 3. So the Lido DAO, right? Because again, Lido is a DAO. The DAO has approved 2 new node operators for the Lido on Solana operator set with mainnet onboarding currently underway. So let's look at these. These are H2O nodes, strong believers in liquid staking, but concerned by the over-reliance of blockchains and staking pools on cloud-based validators. H2O nodes, that's a cool name. Water offers on-prem, what is on-prem infrastructure? Oh, on-chain premium infrastructure, I would imagine, in underrepresented countries to improve the diversity of node operator sets. With a combined 75 years of experience running on-prem infrastructure, we run a bare metal setup out of a data center with multiple 100 gigabit Ethernet Gig-E connections and are the only Solana validator to run out of this data center. We look forward to working together with Lido to improve validator onboarding and monitoring, publishing enough information about our infrastructure to satisfy institutional stakers, that's big, right? And experimenting with new technologies like MEV and new clients. Kukus Global is a Web3 infrastructure and service provider. We've offered secure and reliable non-custodial validator services since 2018 and provide accurate data for Chainlink and the graph. We use a dedicated geographically distributed infrastructure to ensure we can offer the best services. We are very excited to join the Lido node operator set on Solana, and we're looking forward to contributing more to the Lido ecosystem. Okay, this is Lido. Again, a very short article. As always, right, have a look down in the podcast show notes, in the YouTube show notes for links to this. Let's move on to Uniswap. So it says, on Tuesday, we asked you why you like to use a DEX, and 57% of you said self-custody. That's one of the things we love most too. If you weren't sure how to answer our latest poll, or you're new to this space, here's a rundown of the many benefits of using a DEX. Okay, fan favorite, self-custody. In a DEX, a decentralized smart contract matches buyers and sellers without any centralized intermediary, meaning you're able to maintain self-custody of your assets the entire time. So we've talked about this before, right? Like when I use Binance, my assets are on Binance, right? Binance is custodying my assets. That's the difference with Uniswap, right? Or any other protocol you're using. You're connecting with your MetaMask. Your stuff stays in your MetaMask. You're transferring stuff to MetaMask, and then you're getting stuff back if you do swap. Reliability. The smart contracts DEXs run on are entirely self-executing, meaning that once they deploy, they never go down. You never have to worry about your funds being locked or an inability to trade tokens. The exchange will be open 24/7, 365, right? Again, Binance sometimes suspends trading for a certain pair, or they stop something, or like they just removed all USDC pairs recently. That's another advantage of a DEX. Access. Since there isn't a central entity managing an order book, any token can be listed on a DEX. This leads to a wider selection of tokens and the ability to trade whichever tokens you want whenever you want. Open participation. Along those same lines, anyone can provide liquidity and earn rewards for doing so. It's all open sourced and permissionless, right? It means no permission. So there's a bunch of stuff here. You guys can read it. I don't want to spend too much time. We're already at the 15-minute mark. And remember, our goal is to keep these episodes under 20 minutes or so. Let's move on to MakerDAO. It says, introducing automated stop loss and take profit strategies for MakerDAO vaults. This is with Defisaver. Just weeks ago, we introduced our new modular and automated strategy system together with the first showcase strategy connecting MakerDAO with yield-producing protocols like Yearn, MStable, and Messari. Okay, here's an exact down triggers, right? Threshold price Chainlink, flash, mint DAI, payback debt, withdraw collateral, sell collateral for DAI, payback flash minted DAI, withdraw remaining down to an account, right? Okay, this explains that. And labeling this automated strategy for any existing Maker Vault is very straightforward. Once you connect your wallet in the Defisaver app and navigate to the automated strategies under the MakerDAO dashboard, you'll find stop loss and take profit strategies available. That's pretty easy, right? So there it is, available stop loss, ratio, collateral, debt, current price, liquidation price. Nice. Once you enable either or both of these automated strategies, the system will continuously monitor your position and send out the transaction to close the position as soon as the trigger condition is fulfilled, meaning as soon as the price. We mentioned both because you can have both a stop loss and a take profit strategy enabled. That's pretty cool. All right, so this is very useful by Defisaver. I don't know too much about them. You guys will definitely have to do some more research. But again, this gives you more options when it comes to MakerDAO, and who doesn't want that? Okay, let's move on to our curve story, right? So it says, our curve story says a paper napkin analysis of curve finance flows done on September 22nd, 4 days ago. Professional curve mid-curvers in disbelief at the findings. The protocol is the backbone of DeFi with fundamental value that evades the average degen by design. Don't mid-curve the curve ecosystem, Anan. Very cool. Let's calculate curve's effective daily emissions based on data year to date. Simple outflow versus inflow. Roughly 1.4 million curve emitted per day, 725,000 curve locked per day. Daily outflow 673,000 curve. This is the source. Fees. Fees are red based on market activity, but across time, average 150,000 in daily fees. Let's denominate everything the same. At current price in 91 cents, that's 165,000 curve daily. Bribes. Everybody misses this when talking about curve revenue as the CVX revenue or the curve revenue both. Convex has revenue because curve does. You have to solve partial differentials to figure out how much to attribute to each, and I'm not up to that on a Thursday morning. Nice. Okay. So this explains how curve is making money. And basically, TLDR curve is making money as we talked about in our TLDR. Okay, and let's go on to our last story for today, which is about Synthetix. So it says, Synthetix co-contributors continue to innovate for the betterment of all Ethereum and DeFi. Many protocols are already using Synpress, saving engineers countless hours of testing. Make sure to support the continued development on Gitcoin.co. There's the link over there. Synpress is an E2 is end-to-end testing framework with MetaMask support. Focused on dApp testing, it's built on top of Cypress_IO. I have no idea what this is. I should have looked that up. Playwright Web and allows you to automate any action in dApp and many more. Find out more and support on Gitcoin. Okay, what is Synpress? So Synpress is used by Synthetix, Quenta, Optimism, and many other dev teams use it daily. It is a pioneer in the testing space. This is why Synthetix is proud to support DRP, TBL, and development. What are some of the features? End-to-end testing framework, which allows you to write end-to-end tests for your dApp. MetaMask support, or automate everything you can imagine inside your dApp. Any interaction on FE application, created on top of Synpress and Playwright. Easy to debug, right? Who doesn't like easy debugging? Supports Synpress and Playwright debuggers. Added no VNC support, added ng-rock support, blazingly fast, right? Fast is good. Fully extensible, supports headless mode, pioneer tool in Web3 because there are no other tools like Synpress. Fantastic. Okay. So guys, lots and lots going on in crypto as usual. I hope everyone is doing well. So 100th episode is fantastic. Stay tuned for Friday. We have, if you missed our Twitter spaces with Mango, with the Jet protocol, and with Aldrin, right? Keep an eye out for that. We will be releasing the edited version. There will be a video. The video is not that great, again, because it's just a Twitter space and my video was not refreshing that well. It'll still be up there on YouTube if you want to watch the video just to see people's usernames on Twitter. But definitely the podcast is the way to go, and definitely have a listen to it. There was a lot of cool questions. My coworker Jason did a wonderful job asking them. I was there in the background recording, but definitely keep an eye out for next week. We have another token show. I believe we are last week in Soli next week. And then the following week of Friday, we are doing a interview with Chris McGregor. Chris McGregor is the tech co-founder of something called Visto.io. They're doing something really interesting. I was talking to Cyrus, my manager, and I was saying they do instant settlement. So one of the things I hate in crypto is when I convert my crypto from crypto to Taiwanese dollars, it takes about 3 days to get into my bank account. But with Vesto, right, in their system, it's done instantaneously, which is wonderful. I'd love to be able to sell crypto and get cash back instantaneously. Anyway, guys, this is it from me. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I'm so glad that I've done 100, and it's an amazing feeling. The support is amazing. All the guests we've had are amazing. There are many more to come. I hope we get to have some of our co-founders, more of my coworkers on. If you'd like that to happen, please let me know. Otherwise, I will talk to you guys on Friday sometime.